When I call this, resistance is life, people were like, well, maybe you should call it refugee life, a struggle, Kobani war in Syria. For me, it wasn't the case. For me, like, we as human beings, if we resist against anything, that we can success and find life. Resistance is life is like, as human beings, no matter what conditions we are, we should stick together, believe in unity, and resist to pursue and overcome the hardship and set a beautiful life and enjoy it.
Welcome to Cinema 5D on the Go. Moving conversations about moving images with filmmakers and industry leaders. Brought to you by Tilta, Blackmagic Design, Manfrotto, and Olympus OMD in association with Sony. This is your host, Nino Leitner.
How did the whole project progress? I mean, when you started there,
yes.
I'm sure it's very difficult to find a sense in all the chaos that's happening, right?
Absolutely.
So it's just way too much to understand what's going on at the same time, I think. I mean, that's what I felt in a refugee camp.
Yes. Well, I mean, I was born and raised in Eastern Turkey, so growing up with the war and conflict, it was part of my life. And I spoke the language, and then I was familiar with the culture. But again, going back after like 10 years, being here and going back, it wasn't easy. But also for me, that I didn't want to step outside and look at it from a voyeurist or, observer perspective, because I was one of them. I lived in the refugee camps with them. I ate what they ate. I was in the condition that they were, I was experiencing everything with them. So for me, I didn't have time to step outside and look at it from an outsider perspective, because I became one of them. And that's one of the greatest things that, this documentary brings out, is like, there's no essence of camera. People open up 100% that many filmmakers and documentary colleagues of mine are like, wow, this is great, because it's very intimate. It's there. And and in a war zone, you don't have a big crew. Like, I was lucky enough, a couple of my friends flew out to help out, but 90% it was like me with a small camera in hand and with a shotgun mic on it, close with every subject possible. So my goal was to break that essence of camera and have them feel me and see me as a human being, because I was there with them every day. So spending quite a bit of time with them made me become part of the family and struggle and revolution and resistance. So then I was just moving with them. I didn't have to think about what to do next. I was just in the flow with the daily life that was happening there.
It's incredible. I mean, it must have been really tough coming back and starting to edit this. I mean,
yes.
It feels a bit shallow for us to drive through Hollywood on Mulholland Drive and this amazing location where the dream factory,
yes.
where you're really doing the opposite, not selling the dream, you're selling the reality and trying to get that for people to be seen. But how did it feel like coming back and like getting out of this reality back into this fake world?
Yes, it wasn't easy. When I spent 18 months in the region, I was able to take a month breaks, visit my family. They live in southeastern Turkey.
Yeah.
Transition was for me very hard. I was at points very mad at my family, my friends. I didn't want to go out because everyone is happy, eating well, drinking, showering, but not actually thinking, helping. Refugees and the struggle. And especially in Western world, we're kind of, not everyone, but most of us are very ignorant.
Yeah.
And we feel like when we feel sad or we feel pity or empathy towards them, we think we're helping, but it's not helping anything. So for me, transition was very hard. First 3 months, PTSD and not being able to understand why the world is like this, why we're not uniting and helping each other. Everyone is caught up in their own selfish world, which is normal. But then, maturity and life experience and talking to some friends, I just understand that everyone has a different life perspective and different life, and not everyone has to do the same thing that everyone else does. So I was like, okay, well, this is the world. You know, there's the good side, there's the bad side. I cannot hold this against anyone and say, oh, you guys are bad, you're not helping. I was like, okay, everyone has their own worries, own problems, no matter what it is. It could be first world problem or third world problem, but everyone's life matters to them. But I'm still hoping that people can be conscious. It's not about the refugee issue only. It's like any problem around the globe. I think we as human beings, we can unite and try to help and change and influence each other.
Absolutely, that's very nicely said. Yeah, it's hard to grasp once you are confronted with that reality. And I really only just had, you know, a scratch of what you did for a couple of days when I was there, and I already felt what you're feeling to a lesser degree, I'm sure, but it was like that.
Yes.
Coming back and just the ignorance of people, and also the way of, at that time for me, was they were treated so differently by different authorities. So it's like, it really always comes down to the individual person, how the refugees were treated.
Absolutely.
And it's absolutely mind-boggling.
Yeah, I mean, you see, you know, like in some part of the world, they're very welcome. They're more welcome than their countries, and people are really giving to them.
Yeah.
Or vice versa, they're completely ignored and stereotyped and pushed aside from the society. Yeah. So we can't generalize, but like, my hope, you know, my dream is like, when I call this, you know, Resistance is Life, people were like, well, maybe you should call it Refugee Life, a struggle, Kobani war in Syria. For me, it wasn't the case. For me, like, we as human beings, if we resist against anything, that we can success and find life. If we give in or give up on anything, that means the life stopped, you know? There's no life. So that's, for me, Resistance is Life is like, as human beings, no matter what conditions we are, we should stick together, believe in unity, and resist to pursue and, you know, overcome the hardship and set a beautiful life and enjoy it.
Yeah. I think the biggest problem I always feel in our world is that people are just scared.
Absolutely.
And they're just scared of things that they don't know, and once they embrace other people, they actually realize, wow, you know, they have the same needs.
Yeah.
Everybody wants just a roof over their heads, live a peaceful life. That's it.
Yeah, I mean, for me, more than peaceful, I feel like it's a safe bubble.
Yeah.
I think everyone wants to have a safe life, and the fear is one of the most dangerous thing that stops us from, you know, exploring the world. Yeah. In many cases, in my opinion. But you know, nevertheless, we must fight on and do what we believe.
Yeah.
We're doing.
And you're definitely doing that with your documentary. So what's the plan with it? Where do you want to go with it? What do you want to achieve with it?
Yeah. Well, I think my biggest dream and goal was to bring the voice of those people to this part of the world. And so far, I'm really happy and thankful to those who has been on this journey, supporting me and making this happen with me. So for me, just to bring this story to this part of the world, play some prestigious and good level festivals, especially in Hollywood, playing at Chinese theater. You don't see these stories coming to Chinese theater playing at the heart of Hollywood. It's unfortunate because you know, entertainment world wants to see more of an entertainment rather than reality. But yeah, I'm really happy with what's going on with our project right now, and my goal is, if I can have as many people as possible to watch this, it makes me happy. It transcends the message and the culture and the unity that this world needs through a child's perspective, the beauty, the honesty, you know, like, and hopefully maybe we can get an online distribution that there's no borders, that no limits to this project to live, so we can have it playing everywhere so people can see it.
So how long have you been, I mean, how long, when did it premiere?
We premiered in April in Cleveland International Film Festival. Mm-hmm. So we just began our festival circuit. Then we played in Egypt, Buenos Aires, and this is our 4th festival in Los Angeles. And after here, we're going to San Francisco Documentary Film Festival.
Amazing.
Next week, yes. Yeah.
So you hoping for a theatrical run as well, or is it more targeted towards online distribution?
I think it's more targeted online distribution, as I said. If I say theatrical, I'll be fooling myself, because it's a story that may not attract many people to go see in theaters. But you know, the hope is always there. You never know, if someone really believes in the passion and the spirit of this project, they can help me to take it to that level.
Absolutely.